Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shah, the righteous, right? The Savior of men, right? Hey, it's another Turned Up Thursday in this thing. Brother Uriah coming at you with a quick lesson, right? Right before we enter into the new moon, man. So this not going to be a very long class, if you will, right? But through the Spirit, you know, we had to get this since we didn't get a Turns Up Thursday last week, man. Right, so I'm gonna let a couple brothers and sisters join in this thing, right? Because I ain't gonna hold brothers up neither, man. We finna get ready for the Lord's feast, right? Shalom, brother Yaakov, right? Mighty brother right there, man. Right, yeah, shalom to all the young men in this thing, right? Hitting the highways and the hedges, doing the work of the Lord. Shalom, right? To all the mighty sisters, right? Married and unmarried, right? Holding it down, right? Refraining from all manner of lust and the evils of this world, right? Shalom to the young children that are learning to be mighty and righteous, right? Like David as a youth, right? Like Eli as a youth, like Elisha, right? And the list goes on and on, right? Hey, shalom to all of the brethren, right? That are constantly enduring the afflictions which we were appointed unto, like it says, roughly paraphrasing 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, right? Shalom, brother Moses, right? Shalom to everybody that's hopping in this thing. And as I previously stated, right, it's not going to be a long class, right? Because we obviously we're entering into the new moon. If y'all didn't know, now y'all know, right? You know, brothers want to go kick it with the brethren, all right? Let me get a quick precept while brothers and sisters are joining this thing, man. All right, let's get a quick precept. All right. We're going to go to Luke chapter 21. We're going to start at 28. All right, Luke chapter 21 and verse 28. It says thus, "And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." Right? So in these last days, we should constantly be watching, looking at the signs, the wonders, what's going on within these nations and the kingdoms, how the Lord is moving their spirits closer and closer to war, right? Because the Lord said what? When you look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth not. All of these things are merely fulfilling prophecies for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shah. All right? It says thus, verse 29. "And he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig trees and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand." So the Lord likened it into something that they can understand, right? When we see that the sun is going down, we know it's the evening, right? When we see that the sun is coming up, right, we know it's the morning, all right? It says what? Verse 31. "So likewise, yea, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand." You see all of it, Russia, China, Ukraine, Japan, Turkey, all of these nations are gathering together to be confederate, right? You should know, it says, "Know ye that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand," right? Hey, the wickedness of America, it's not going to prosper forever, right? All of the evil that's going on in this world is merely amounting, right, ultimately so that the Lord could destroy it and cast it down, right? I'm going to finish this out, then I'm going to get another quick precept. It says, "Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled." Ultimately going into what? Through the regeneration of spirits, right? Hey, we may be the generation that sees the second coming of Yahweh Shai. It may be our children, right? Verse 33, it says, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." That precept is what? Jeremiah 31 and 31 on down, right? Going into how what? The covenant of the Lord is going to continue to stand. Matthew 5 and 18, right? "Heaven and earth shall pass away before a jot or tittle shall fall away from the words of the Lord or the law." Verse 34 is the point. It says what? "And take heed to yourselves, Least at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting. So it said to take heed to yourself. Kind of self-examine what's going on in your daily life, right? Pay attention to what you dibbling and dabbling in, right? Whether you kind of sitting up being idle all day, right? Whether you sitting up, you're not getting in the scriptures, but you taking care of everything else in this world, right? It said to take heed to yourself. At least you be overcharged with surfeiting. Surfeiting is another word from overindulging in pleasures, right? Let's get a quick precept, right? And not to get away from the topic of this class, because the topic of this class is what? It's called The Spirits Know You, all right? And this kind of ties into that. Because, hey, spirits know what you want to do, right? Hey, the spirits understand your desires. And these evil spirits, especially around this time of wicked damn Halloween, hey, these spirits are on a rampage. And he, like it's saying, Sirach, what him like it, him get it, right? So watch this, Proverbs 21:17. It says, he that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. If you love the pleasures of this world, you're going to be a poor man. Spiritually, you're poor. You're waxing lean. You ain't reading, you're not praying, you're not fasting, right? But hey, you know what happened with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, though, right? Hey, you're not occupied in prophecy. Hey, but you understand Black Ops 6 just came out not too long ago. You've been on that thing all day, right? How are you going to be increased with the wealth of the Lord if you're not spending time putting in that work? All right. So it said, back to Luke 21:34, take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. Because what did the Lord say in Matthew chapter 24? Hey, the days that we're living in, right, are as the days of Noah. Men are drinking, being drunk, and giving in marriage, right? You don't want to be caught drunk in this world. A lot of times, what happens when you get drunk? You might pass out. You might go to sleep. You might kind of lay down for a little bit. And the time to pass, you had a sip at 12 o'clock a.m. Now it's down 1:30 p.m. It's a whole new day. You got caught slipping, right? Reading on, it says, and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. So, hey, the day of the Lord is steadily inching near and near by the second, by the minute, right? But you so occupied by the cares of this life. I need that Gucci. Matter of fact, I need them Pradas, right? I need that new game I gotta have that. But brother, what are we doing, right? Hey, it's okay for a man to enjoy himself, right? It's saying Sirach 14, defraud not thyself of a good day, right? But when you start to overindulge in these things, now the Lord likens you into a drunken man, all right? So without further ado, right, we're going to go ahead and get in this thing, right? So the title of this class is what? The Spirits Know You, okay? So the first precept we're going to is Acts chapter 19. All right, Shalom, Brother Donovan, mighty soldier. All right, Shalom, everybody that's still hopping in this thing. Right, Acts chapter 19. Where I want to start at? We're gonna start at 13. Actually, like we're gonna start at 10. All right, Acts chapter 19 and verse 10. It says, and this continued by the space of 2 years, so that all they which dwelt in Asia heard the word of the Lord, Yahushua, both Jews and Greeks, going into what Paul in Ephesus doing the work of the Lord. All right. It says what? Verse 11, and God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons. And these people had so much faith in the Lord Yahushua, right, and the power that the Most High bestowed upon his servants. They brought the handkerchiefs of the sick. They brought aprons from the sick, right? Because what? They wanted them to touch it. When they brought it back to them, by their faith, they would be healed. Happened on many occasions. Hey, the woman in Luke chapter 8 and Mark chapter 5 verse 34. Hey, she merely touched the garment, the fringe of Yahushua, and immediately she was healed. Right? Hey, Mark chapter 4, they kind of took off the roof of the house and set the sick inside the house, and boom, they was healed. Right? So, hey, let's, you know what I'm saying? We got to be mindful of these things, man. All right, let's read on. It says, the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. So there are evil spirits in the Bible, right? Christianity doesn't teach people the truth of the Bible. Hey, they don't teach about the evil spirits, about how it's evil angels that cause destruction and wreak havoc, right? And a lot of times, October 31st every year, these evil spirits be on a damn rampage, man. Right? Hey, this is a chief time for Satan and the wicked spirits. All right, but let's read on. It says, then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them, which had evil spirits, the name of the Lord Yahushua. So you have exorcists in the Bible. Not like the exorcists that you see on TVs, kind of take up a cross, right? And say, come out of that person, you evil spirit. Kind of tell them, you know who I am. That's not biblical. All right. It says, vagabond Jews, the exorcists took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits, the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua, whom Paul preached, right? And they literally say, come out of that spirit. I adjure you by the name Jesus Christ, right? And in their mind, they're thinking about Caesar Borgia, the so-called white man, right? They're not thinking about the mighty Lord, Yahushua, which had given man power over spirits, all right? Verse 14, and there were 7 sons of one, Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? So these spirits, I know Yahushua. Hey, I know Paul. But Negro, who is you? Right? Ultimately, hey, the spirits, spirits are literally what they define as seen or unseen in Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15. Hey, it's a spirit literally everywhere. It's a spirit in your house. It's a spirit in the outside world. It's a spirit at your job. It's a spirit in your damn car. Whether it be righteous, whether it be evil, who can tell? Right? But the point is, hey, the spirit literally answered them to their face. Hey, who the hell are you? Well, I'm gonna give a quick example. I was at my job not too long ago. And we was dealing with a crazy dude, all right? He had broke the glass, all right? And so we kind of had to subdue him, restrain him or whatnot. And he was like, Jesus Christ, it was a Edomite, I'm led to believe, by the way, all right? And he was like, Jesus Christ is black, his people are black, and he's going to come back and destroy y'all. I'm the only Israelite in the room. I'm just sitting there. Damn. And I came back and I told my brothers the report. I'm like, yo, that was like this very same account. Hey, that spirit knew what was going on. Right? Hey, that spirit knew that the light was in the room. Right? That spirit understood that, hey, there was an Israelite in this room. Right? He ain't know that was an Israelite. But hey, I know I'm an Israelite, right? But it was just so crazy how the spirit was moving. Right? So I'm going to read on at verse 16. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them. So hey, you got to also be careful, man. Because if you're not increasing in strength by the Spirit of the Lord, hey, these spirits will overtake you and destroy you. That's why you have a lot of men on the streets, lost their mind, wandering up and down the streets, hands crippled like this, you know, hunched back, foaming at the mouth, because they've been overcome by evil spirits, right? Reading on, and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded, right? And that only happened because those men had to be in some type of sin, right? Hey, these spirits only hop on us, right, when we're dealing in a manner of sin, right? Let's get another precept. Let's go to Colossians chapter 1, right? Because these things are not carnal. It's literally spiritual, right? You're not going to just sit up and look at a spirit, unless the Lord kind of present that, right? Let's get this real quick. Colossians chapter 1. Shalaki. I done messed up my Bible, man. All right, here we go. It's like Colossians chapter 1 and verse 13. It says, who had delivered, it's like at 12, we start at 12. It says, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, right? So you should be reflecting upon these things, that the Lord have called us out of darkness and made us the saints in light, right? Partakers of his inheritance, going from unrepentant niggas in the world, right, and harlots unto, right, the kings, the priests, the princesses, and ministers of the Lord. Verse 13, who had delivered us from the power of darkness, ultimately going into what? How the Lord delivered us from sin, delivering us from the spiritual demon Satan, right? And hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear son. Shalom, brother Don. All right. Verse 14, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. Right, verse 16 is the point. For by him were all things created. So everything that you could possibly fathom in your mind was created through the hands of Yahweh Shai at the anointing of the Most High. All right, that are in heaven and that are in earth, going from the firmament all the way to the ground, okay? Visible and invisible, whether they be thrones. You can see the throne, right? You can't see the throne of the Most High, right? So you got a physical, visible, and you got the invisible, okay? Or dominions, right? Rulerships, or principalities, or powers. All things were created by him and for him. So even the angels, right? The angels have to answer to Christ, right? The angels, they have to answer unto the Most High God, all right? Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Job, right? Job chapter 2 and verse 1. Job chapter 2 and verse 1, and it reads thus. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. So Satan came, right, along with the other angels, right? And they kind of had to do a report for the Lord, right? Kind of came to detail, all right? Verse 2, and the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? The Lord asked him, like, where you been, right? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Right? So hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. This is a cut right here to specifically show you, right, that Satan did not rebel against God. That is a fable. And the scriptures say to avoid Jewish fables. All right. Titus 1 and 14, 1 Timothy 1 and 4. Right? Hey, everything is in order with the Lord. Man is in order with the Lord. The Lord predetermined or predestined everything to be. No man can break that. All right. Just wanted to throw that in there. Verse 3. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God, and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. Hey, so sometimes the Lord will allow spirits to kind of destroy you, right? Ultimately, when you read Job, the Lord just wanted to see where Job's faith was, right? But the point is, what Satan, he kind of go whensoever he please. How much more the evil spirits that are listed in the scriptures? Lust, lying, envying, covetousness, a rebellion, witchcraft, right? The freaky spirits that are about this season, witchcraft, damn freaky vampire spirits, right? Dealing with the dead, necromancer spirits, right? Familiar spirits. Hey, all these things have a place in the earth, and they move whensoever they will, right? Kind of Lammy backing off of Capt, Salaki, Officer Barakai class from the other day, right? So look, matter of fact, let's get a quick precept. Let's get a precept on that, all right? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. All right. Zechariah 3:1. It says what? And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. So you literally have the angel of the Lord standing before Joshua, but you also have Satan literally at his right hand. Do you think that Joshua could see Satan and the angel of the Lord standing before him? Right? Hey, as the scripture said, visible and invisible. Hey, these spirits will literally be about you and you wouldn't even know it unless you had understanding of the scriptures. All right? So that's just an example I wanted to give, just to show that the spirits can, be wherever they be. All right? So let's go to Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. Right? Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. Right? Because it's another precept to go into spirits being everywhere and the angels being everywhere. Proverbs 15:3 says what? The eyes of the Lord are in every place. Remember, these things are visible. These things are invisible. A certain accounts, right? I'm going to use this real quick. Like off The Predator, the movie The Predator. Whenever they turn invisible, you can kind of see their outline, right? You can kind of see the figure. You can't see them, but you can see their outline. It's like at a crime scene with a white chalk, right? Hey, those things are real life. Hey, through the spirit, hey, I kind of seen those things a couple times, right? Obviously, because the Lord wanted me to see what I saw, right? But what, you got things that are truly invisible and things that are visible, okay? The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Literally, right? How you think man gonna get caught up on Judgment Day? It's literally because it's an angel recording what the hell ever you do on your day-to-day life. It's that simple. All right? Let's get another precept. Let's go to Job chapter 28. All right, Job chapter 28 and verse 3. It says what? He setteth an end to darkness and searcheth out all perfection, the stones of darkness and the shadow of death. So it said that the Lord searcheth out all perfection. The Lord literally has the angels going to and fro throughout the earth, looking upon the servants, looking upon the wicked, seeing what's going on in the earth, right? And ultimately giving orders to cause certain destruction in the earth. Hey, to cause certain prosperity upon the servants, right? And to cause a curse to be reversed. The Lord is literally has his ministers to be set up like this, right? Whatever the hell that the Lord tells the angels are going to do it. All right? Let me give one more for this. Let's go to Job 37. Hey, Job is tough, man. I advise brothers and sisters read the book of Job, right? Whether he be afflicted and mourning. Hey, look at his afflictions, all right? Hey, he got some deep, dark parables in this thing, too. All right, Job 37-12. It's like 10. It says, by the breath of God, frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightened. Also, by watering, he wearieth the thick cloud. It said, the thick cloud. He scattereth his bright cloud. Now, that's not talking about a regular cloud that you might see in your day-to-day life. But when you read about the clouds, it's talking about the chariots of the Most High. All right, let me get a quick precept. Acts, real quick. The book of Acts, the 1st chapter. Right, the clouds are making reference to the Lord's chariots, to the Lord's angels, and their methods of transportation. Acts chapter 1 and verse, that precept is one of my favorite precepts. All right, Acts chapter 1 and verse 9 says thus, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And that the Lord, Yahushua, literally just kind of float into a cloud like a cartoon? Or is that a symbolic meaning for something, right? The Lord literally had a so-called UFO chariot, right? Kind of appear above Yahushua and take him up and translate him, right? It says, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. These 2 men, they just popped up out of nowhere. These are talking about the angels of the Lord, right? Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So the same way he was taken up is the same way he's going to appear with the thousands of heaven. Like it's saying in Psalms chapter 68. All right. So back to Job 37. Job 37:12. Mind you, we're talking about the angels, the chariots, and spirits, okay? It says, and it is turned round about by his counsels, that they may do whatsoever he commanded them upon the face of the world in the earth. So whatsoever the Lord commanded these spirits, they do it without question, right? The Lord is the King of terrors, the Lord of lords, right? The Ancient of Days. He has all power and authority over spirits, right? Verse 13, he causeth it to come, whether for correction or for his land or for mercy. He caused the spirits to hop on people for correction, or he caused a spirit to what? Hop on somebody, right, for mercy, right? Think about the book of Judges, when all those glorious men were slaying the heathen by the thousands. That's literally a spirit that the Lord set upon them for mercy for the nation of Israel. But think about how the scrawny Edomites had damn 1 slave master and damn maybe 2 field hands, right, in the field, over 150 powerful Israelites. He sent the spirit for correction. You can't rebel against that. You can't fight against it. At least you be found to fight against God, right? So when the Lord put a spirit on somebody, the only way you can get that evil spirit off is by what? Fasting and praying and repentance, okay? Right? So let me get this real quick. I'm going to get an example in First Chronicles, I believe it is. All right. First Chronicles, right? Let me see. Yeah, First Chronicles chapter 21. All right. First Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 1. And Satan stood up against Israel I'm going to read it again. And Satan stood up against Israel. That is, Satan literally come and stand up before the whole nation of Israel. No, that's not what that's talking about. It says what? How did Satan stand up before Israel? We about to find out. And provoked David to number Israel. So Satan stood up against Israel by provoking the king, the leader, right? The head honcho of the nation, all right? The chief of the nation, right? He provoked him, right, to number Israel. And a lot of times when we did numbering, right, or did a census, it was more so to see how many men we had for war, all right? And ultimately, we really didn't do that. We always had to rely on the Lord, right? Because it didn't matter how many mighty men that we had, right? We could have had 100,000 to 50,000. But if we was wicked, the Lord would have confounded us by that 50, right? Read Joshua chapter 7, right, verse 1 on down. Read Numbers chapter 14, verse 40 on down. How the Lord confounded us because we was in sin, all right? So what? The spiritual demon Satan rose up against our nation, all right? Because what him like it, him get it. Whatever you indulge in, best believe, whether it's righteous or whether it be evil, you're going to receive it, all right? We're going to get into some more accounts, man. Let's go to 1 Kings, the 22nd chapter. All right, 1 Kings chapter 22, all right? Brothers should know this account. It's a very popular account. All right, 1 Kings chapter 22. I'm going to hop around a little bit, right? Because this account is with Micah the prophet communing with the king of Assyria. Communing with the king of Israel, right? Telling him the prophecies of the Lord. All right, 1 Kings 22. And I'm going to start at verse 8, straight to the point. 1 Kings 22 and 8. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me. And our people don't, it's the same type of spirit our people got today. Whenever we were rebuking at the gate, calling them out on the Sabbath days, or just in general, I don't like that nigga, man. He always got something negative to say. You can't never speak nothing positive. Well, shit, should we be a liar? Right? Hey, we ought to obey God rather than man, right? But the words that the Lord put in our mouth, that which I'm going to speak, according to Numbers 23 and 11. All right? It says, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. All right? And truth be told, he was merely prophesying what the Lord prophesied to him. Right? So I'm going to drop down to verse 13. And the messenger that was going to call Micah spake unto him, saying, behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. So he's telling him about the false prophets. Hey, all these other prophets, they declaring good things, man. Right? Now what? Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. Man, I'm telling you, bro, look, they speaking these good things. I just need you to speak some good things to them. I just need you to do what they doing, man. Right? Wanted us to trim our ways to seek love, according to Jeremiah 2 and 33. Right? It says what? And Micah said, hey, and it's also Isaiah 30 and 9. Right? They want to hear smooth things. Our people can't stand the harsh truth, reality. They want to be caught in the matrix of sin. Okay. Verse 14. And Micah said, as the Lord liveth, what the Lord said unto me, that will I speak. All right. Now I'm going to drop down. Verse 16. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? Right? Because he previously asked him, and Mike was like, you'll prosper. right? But he's telling them like, hey, man, just keep it 100 with me, all right? Verse 17. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd, right? Because mind you, what's the spirit that the king is in right now, right? Like, what's the spirit that this king Ahab is in? He moving in the spirit of war and bloodlust, wanting destruction. He wants to go make battle, right? And I said this twice already. What him like it, him get it, according to Sirach, the 15th chapter. So hold on, bear with me, all right? 1 Kings 22 and 17. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. All right. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he will prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. So now you got the angels presenting themselves before the Lord, like we read in Job chapter 2. And the Lord said, and the Lord said, so like you have to put an emphasis, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? Man, you got the Lord, the King of terrors, literally asking, which one of you spirits finna go confound him? Right? Which one of you spirits finna go confound this man? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So you might have had the lust spirit say, I'll get him like this. I might take Jezebel and I might have her go sleep with another man. And he gonna be confounded. Another spirit might have said, oh, well, I have all his children destroyed. Right? But watch this. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Kind of stood up, looked around the crowd. I'm going to do it. Right? And before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith, meaning how? And he said, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. So, hey, what him liketh, him get it. He wanted to hear that he was going to go to war and win, right? He wanted to hear the smooth things, right? But the Lord, hey, truly, hey, what's going to happen to Ahab? He's going to go up, and he's going to be confounded and smitten in his chariot, all right? So, hey, man, these spirits know what you like, man, right? If you sitting up on social media all day, right, eventually a lust spirit going to hit you, right? If you sitting up just scrolling aimlessly, your mind, you're not thinking about the precepts. You're not thinking about how to be a better rehearser of the precepts, right? Eventually, it's going to be a spirit that kind of meets you somewhere. It's going to be like, damn, I thought I overcame this. But then what happens? Matthew chapter 12 and verse what? 47. Hey, you got rid of one spirit and it brought about 7 more wicked spirits than itself. All right. So what's the next precept? Let's go to Sirach chapter 39. Right, we're nearing the end of this class because, like I said, it wasn't gonna be too long. Right, I know brothers want to enjoy their feast. All right, let's go to Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. All right, Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. It says what? There be spirits that are created for vengeance. So you have spirits of war. All right, you have murderous spirits hop on people. You have, in this case, lying spirits to hop on people. You have evil, lustful spirits that cause people to go rape people and then kill them, right? There are spirits that are created for vengeance. You got evil spirits want to hop out on Halloween, go to random people's door, kind of entreat for candy, right? They might knock them out, run up in a house, and do Lord knows what, right? Which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of destruction. They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them, right? So, hey, these spirits appease the wrath of the Most High God. As we just read that the Lord literally be inquiring about how certain spirits are going to destroy people. So if you're not mindful of the things that you're entertaining, if you're not mindful of serving the Lord, chief of all things, hey, Lord forbid, hey, but you'll be met with one of these spirits. All right? Let's get the next precept. All right? I had a couple more precepts, but I'm going to kind of bring it down a little bit. All right? Let's go to James chapter 1. All right, James chapter 1 and verse 12. We'll get some more examples on spirits entreating people. All right? Oops, like steady messing up my Bible, man. All right, James chapter 1 and start at verse 12. It says thus, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. It's plain. It's like it, right? When them strange thoughts creep upon you at nighttime and you endure them things, the Lord said you are blessed. Hey, when the thoughts of scrolling on your timeline looking for weird sights come upon you and you endure those things, then you're blessed. Hey, when you out in the world dealing with ignorant ass Jake or even the heathen, but you restrain yourself, blessed is that man that endured temptation. When you feel like you want to light one more cig, right? Blessed is the man that endured temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. When you were tried, right? When you're put forth through the furnace of affliction of your temptations, but you prevail, the Lord said that you're going to receive the crown of life. Right? And that precept for that is 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 57 through 59. All right? It says, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. Because ultimately, when you choose rather to do the will of the Lord than do your own will, you literally showing that you love the Most High God. Right? Reading on. Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Because ultimately, you're not tempted of God. Right? You're ultimately tempted of your own lust. Right? As it's going to read. Verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth Slakia. Hey, y'all drop a comment in the chat if we good. Satan trying to take out the live. Hey, drop a comment if we still live and y'all can hear me. All right. Okay, all praises. All right. All praises. So we back in the thing, right? So I'm going to read that last precept again, then I'm going to get an example for it. It says, then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, it bringeth forth death. Right? So what's the perfect example of that? Well, you got a couple, actually. Right? But we're going to get this in History of Susanna. All right? Right? History of Susanna. All right? That's a beautiful book. All right? Let me find it real quick, man, because some of my probably for missing pages. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to start at the top, and we're going to hop around a little bit. All right? Look at that. Satan cometh immediately. I knew it was a reason that video was buffering, because here comes Satan. If we got any moderators in the chat, man, y'all could, matter of fact, I'm finna, yeah, I'm finna get them gone. All praise. Right? So here we are. History of Susanna, chapter 1, start at verse 1. there dwelt a man in Babylon called Jehoiakim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna, the daughter of Josias, a very fair woman. And so it said that Susanna was a very fair woman, okay? And one that feared the Lord. Her parents also were righteous and taught their daughter according to the law of Moses. Now Jehoiakim was a great rich man and had a fair garden joining unto his house. And to him resorted the Jews, because he was more honorable than all others. The same year were appointed two of the ancients of the people to be judges, such as the Lord spake of. That wickedness came from Babylon. That's like it. That wickedness came from Babylon, from ancient judges who seemed to govern the people. So it said that wickedness came from these judges, man. Right? Let's find out their wickedness. I'm going to drop down. Verse 7. I'm like verse 6. These kept much at Jehoiakim's house, and all that had any suits and law came unto them. So these men constantly kept going to this man's house, man. Hey, constantly in another man's presence, right? Looking at all his possessions, right? Looking at this beautiful garden he got. Hey, looking at his wife even, all right? Reading on. Verse 7. Now when the people departed away at noon, Susanna went into her husband's garden to walk. And the two elders saw her going in every day. These some niggas right here, man. Right? These are some pure niggas. Hey, they at this man's house every single day, keeping speaking within the gate, speaking of righteous things, probably parables, right? Speaking of all manner of good things, right? And it says what? Two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her, and they perverted their own mind, and tabled that they had made a privy entrance, whereby they enter in continually and consume. Oh, so like, damn, it's like you kind of damn, man, that say right there. I'm missing the rest of history, Susanna, in my apocrypha, man. So y'all forgive me for that, man. Right? But the major point that I was looking for was where they was lusting continually, right? Hold on. Let me find that real quick. Okay, here it is. Salaki. Verse 9. And they perverted their own mind and turned away their eyes, that they might not look unto heaven, nor remember the just judgments. So they knew that they was going to hell off, right? And they tried everything in their power not to be convicted by the Holy Spirit, right? Verse 10, it says what? And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet durst not one shoot another his grief, right? So these men were just going to hell off, man. Period, point blank. That's why the scriptures say what? In Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28, whosoever looketh upon a woman to lust after her had already committed adultery with her in his heart, right? So these men were freaking off, right? And I'm going to hop around, right? Because ultimately, this is what got these men destroyed, right? That they were met with the evil lust spirit, and they had the opportunity to turn away, but they didn't. So, what him like it, him get it. All right, let's get this. History of Susanna, chapter 1, in verse 51. Right, we hopping into the end of this thing. I'm not gonna read the whole count. Y'all gonna have to read it yourselves, right? But I'm gonna get the end of it. What happened? It says, then said Daniel unto them, put these two aside, one far from another, and I will examine them. So when they were put asunder one from another, he called one of them and said unto him, O thou that art waxen old in wickedness. So these, hey, that's another precept to show you. If you don't get rid of the spirit, right, you're gonna wax old in that thing, man. If you don't get rid of that evil that you're dealing in, you're going to wax old in it. And it's only going to heap up so much to where the Lord destroy you because of it. It says, O thou that art waxing old in wickedness, now thy sins which thou hast committed aforetime are come to light. So it's not their first time moving in that type of spirit with women, right? I'm going to give you a brief synopsis, right? They saw the woman and they wanted to have their way with the woman. And they said, hey, if you don't lay with us, we're going to tell the whole congregation that when your husband leaves, you were sleeping with somebody, that we seen you. And she was in a bad position, right? Now Daniel, through the Spirit of the Lord, that mighty youth, right, through just judgment and wisdom and understanding, right, is bringing these things to light. Verse 53, for thou hast pronounced false judgment and hast condemned the innocent and has let the guilty go free. Albeit the Lord said, the innocent and righteous shalt thou not slay. According to what? Leviticus, the 19th chapter, Exodus 20, right? Going into what? You can't, Exodus 23 as well. You can't stand against the blood of the righteous, right? Now I'm going to drop down, verse 56. So he put him aside and commanded to bring the other, and said unto him, O thou seed of Canaan, right? Because they're not moving in the spirit of Israel, they moving in the spirit of the heathen, and not of Judah. Beauty had deceived thee, and lust. Remember James chapter 1, James 1 and 15, right? And lust hath perverted thine heart. Thus have you dealt with the daughters of Israel, and they for fear companied with you. Man, they feared these men, right? Because they don't want to have an evil name of being an adulterer. The world takes adultery lightly today, right? But the true servants of the Most High, we didn't play like that in the ancient days, right? Hey, if you had a wife, that woman was your possession. Hey, if you had a husband, hey, the sister knew that she was that man's possession, right? It says, and they for fear companied with you, but the daughter of Judah would not abide your wickedness. Hey, and that's how we should be in these last days, man. We shall not abide in the wickedness of this world, right? Verse 58, now therefore tell me, under what tree didst thou take them, accompanying together? Who answered, under a home tree. Then said Daniel unto him, well, thou hast also lied against thine own head. For the angel of God waited with the sword to cut thee in two. Again, with these spirits. The angel of the Lord, right, was literally there the whole time, giving them the report. How you think Daniel understood these things? All right? That he may destroy you. With that, all the assembly cried out with a loud voice and praised God, who saveth them that trust in him. And they arose against the two elders, for Daniel had convicted them of false witness by their own mouth. And according to the law of Moses, they did unto them in such sort as they maliciously intended to do to their neighbor, and they put them to death. Thus the innocent blood was saved the same day. Right? And that all ties back in James chapter 1 and verse 15. When lust had conceived, it bringeth forth sin. Because what? They lusted after a married woman. And what happened? That bring forth adultery, which is sin. And sin, that adulterous spirit and lying spirit that they were moving in, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And those men were ultimately put to death. All right. So I'm going to close it out, right, with this last precept. Right, I had some more, but like I said, it's a new moon, man. Brother's trying to go kick it. Right, Sirach chapter 21, right, in verse 1. Hey, man, y'all got to forgive me, too. This is how my apocrypha look, all right? Look like it's an ancient manuscript or something. All right, Sirach chapter 21, in verse 1. It says thus, my son, hast thou sinned? Do so no more. But as pardon for thy former sins. And I exhort all my brothers and sisters to what? ask pardon for their sins, man, and leave off from sin, right? Verse 2, flee from sin. It don't say be strong. It say flee from sin. It don't say fight it. It said flee from sin, right? Get the hell away from sin, right? From the face of a serpent. For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. And say it might bite thee. And say, hey, it's gonna get you next time. It said no. It will bite thee. Right? If you know your temptations and the spirits that you deal with, why would you even put yourself in a position to get caught up with those spirits? Right? Abide not in wickedness, like we just read in History of Susanna 1:57. All right? It says what? If thou come too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. Right? A iniquity, transgression of the Lord's law, sin slays the souls of men. Right? So just be mindful of that in these last days, man. Right? Be mindful of these spirits that are out here waiting on you to slip up, waiting on you to get into mischief and folly. Because, hey, ultimately, you writing yourself a damn death certificate, man. Right? So I exhort everybody, right, to keep the commandments of God, to flee from sin, to wax stronger and stronger, and through the spirit of the Lord Yahushua. Right? The Lord willing, y'all was edified. Right? Lord willing, y'all have a mighty new moon with your families. Right? With that, shalom.